All right, what's going on? So today we got a scenario that was brought up. Say you had 24 hours to create a 2-minute short. What would you do and how would you go about it? So that's a pretty interesting scenario. For me, I always try to like reverse engineer when I think in terms of screenplays because, locations and all that, dialogue, having a bunch of actors, all of that is just kind of a, afterthought. But the first thing is having a good story. If the story moves and follows along, then you should be able to do it with as minimal as possible. So with 2 minutes and 24 hours, things that we don't have that are possible. Writing a good script. Might be able to put about 3 to 4 exchanges max, really short scripted dialogue, and maybe even improvised if there is any dialogue. And that's because dialogue takes time, it takes revisions and a lot of writing, and then to get that to be portrayed onto screen, you have to give your actors time to become familiar with the character and have their own interpretation of it. And in 24 hours, you're just not going to be able to get that done, even if you started writing at hour zero. To write it, edit it, give it to your actors would cut you about 12 hours. So that would cut into your shoot time too, maybe your travel time. So you got to start thinking. If I had 24 hours to think a 2-minute film, I would start exactly where I'm at. Right now, I'm in between second jobs at Carl's Jr. parking lot. So I would use the Carl's Jr. as a story. We're freestyling this, improvising it together right now on YouTube or Facebook or just in video format. But, Carl's Jr. How can I use the Carl's Jr.? Or what's going on around this one? Well, I know in particular this one has kind of a lot of homeless people. So let's think about, all right, I just came up with a story right now. A homeless person comes in and wants to buy food and use the bathroom. And they don't let them do either. And so there's the conflict. Boom. So, from there, how can we make it? How can we make it touching? We can maybe do some voiceover about, living, and he's just sitting outside and at a bus stop, and then, we get maybe a time lapse of him sleeping. And then the big climax is the scene where he goes in. And we try to come up with some type of conflict as to why do you feel that you want him to be able to go to the bathroom. That might take me about an hour or two of brainstorming with different people to come up with some sort of extra secondary motive, and then, from there, that's one character. Maybe I can get 2 improv or something really simple, with the Carl's Jr. employees. I could just hey, this guy's going to come in, don't let him use the bathroom. And then one of you, just motion like you're pointing to your manager. And from there, I'll be able to cut and do a couple takes the right way where it looks like kind of like a panic. So the guy doesn't end up using the bathroom or getting the food. And maybe some guy that at the end, notice what's going on and goes to the drive-thru for him. Boom. But he didn't really get to solve his bathroom problem, but whatever, that's not answered, or we try to tie that up another way. And that's how I would come up with a flash story. This video's been 4 minutes long, so it took me about 4 minutes to just randomly think of something using my surroundings. And then you would probably, if you had 24 hours, do the same thing. If you're at your house, think about a kid that's in his room and what's the most dramatic story you could say about that. So from there, shooting it. And that's the thing. I would use camera phones if I didn't have a camera. Luckily, I have a DSLR and a pretty cool lens for good close-ups. I've got the 18 to 55 millimeter too, which may be some type of good exposition, but my close-up lens is a better quality, so I would try to utilize that in the DSLR. But to create a good story, you can use your camera phone, especially if it's daytime. If you can get as much stuff in the daytime as possible, that's when you have the least amount of noise to get good shots on your camera phone. And then I would probably do audio. One guy's phone would be filming, the other guy's phone would be doing voice memo in the guy's pocket. Maybe get some tape them up, keep one of the other phones close to him with a voice memo. For me, I also have a lavalier mic that plugs into smartphones, so that's another option, you know. And that's really the thing nowadays, you know, with technology and society, and we can really like start to create things in 24 hours and have it be, you know, this big improv kind of good dramatic piece that tells a story that we can probably write more from, we can pull from and source from. Hell, I may even come up with this idea and write it in a book. Now that I'm thinking about it, if I can just get a little bit more story elements to it. But these are the kind of things that we're able to do and be inspired by, because then we can get music, we can edit it on a laptop nowadays. And 2 minutes isn't a long time, you know. And if everybody else is doing it the same time frame, you know, who can make the biggest story in that 24 hours is going to be who can get the production out of the way first and then do all the, you know, post and stuff after. So, you know, we'd tackle good sound. We'd either use an iPhone or whatever cameras we have on deck. Music and editing. We try to do little dialogue as possible. So, even sound, it would mainly probably just be like Foleying a little bit and editing on Adobe Premiere, or even if there's free programs that you can edit on. Like, don't think special effects, don't think CGI, because 24 hours that's going to give you a little bit more trouble to work with. And think, you know, good single shots, cuts, moving the story along, and yeah, just freestyle something, come up with anything. You know, because you're using what you got and what's around, there's going to be a human element to it. You know, assembling a team of other people that are creative is fun to do that with. And you only really need about 3 or 4, to really create something. So think about some of your buddies that are probably in school or college, or, you know, they like to party or something. Just hit them up maybe 2 hours before to help you out with it. But it's possible to make a good story with some type of climax and shocking production value in 24 hours. And you know, it's a challenge I wouldn't mind seeing again, actually done in the future. It'd be cool to see a TV show or something based on it. So I think that's a good question. There's a lot of potential in it, you know. So who knows? I may even try to do something like that. I mean, what's today? Check my YouTube tomorrow. I might make this story about this Carl's Jr. tonight, you know, because 2 minutes isn't too long. Yeah, I'm already like daydreaming a little bit about the stories, but anyway, great question. So yeah, send some questions, 24creative@gmail.com. We've got the Instagram link below where you can kind of see a little bit more behind the scenes, and the Patreon for exclusive videos, and exclusive writings, just a little bit more in depth, for YouTube videos and stuff. And then pretty soon we'll be releasing some books and short stories on the Patreon, and hopefully some short films, all within this year, this summer. So it's going to be busy. But yeah, stay tuned. Any questions, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and we'll talk soon.